Yes, I'm live. I'm here on my own. I'm just doing a quick little meta episode, about some changes in the website. And of course, I'm all excited about PodMatch. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen me uh, posting about PodMatch, which is helping me to get guests. It's really cool. Uh, so I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the upcoming guests that I've met through there. So I don't have a lot of time because I'm going on a bike ride up north with the wife. So she gave me some time here, so I'm going to jump right into it. First thing I want to talk about, I guess, is well, I guess I'll take a look at the stats since I'm here. I've got, I don't know if I can show this properly. Let me see if I can actually limit. Let me see if I can fix this. One moment, please bear with me. How does that look now? Oh, that's good. Seems to work. Sorry about this. I should have set this up beforehand. But yeah, we can see that I'm growing in terms of my episode output. So 2023 is getting more episodes than ever, and I'm only in September. So that's exciting. My monthly distribution, as I went through last time, February is a big month, so October and November are typically slow months. But if you look at my calendar, you can see that I've got a lot of stuff. We're on the 16th today, and sorry, got a lot of stuff. I've only opened up my Sunday afternoons. I've made a special exception here on next Wednesday for Aiden and Mark Lisney. And I've opened up my Thursday nights now, in addition to the regular Friday nights. And I've even opened up a 9 a.m. slot on Saturdays. And as you can see, the month of October, next month, is already getting very full thanks to PodMatch. November, I even have a few booked already in November. About 5 booked already there. So I'm excited about this. Where was I now? Oh yeah, I'm looking at my stats. So I want to go and take a look at I've got a social media page. It's called Links. And I've got all kinds of social media. If you want to listen on audio, I've got Apple Podcasts, used to be called iTunes, I guess. Google Podcasts, all kinds of stuff. There's Podbean that I use now. I pay for Podbean now. In the social media, it's all the typical ones. But this last one here, Pod Pros, I got onto that, and I'll show you what it looks like through Pod. I just joined like yesterday or something, but I found out about them through PodMatch, and I'll show you my PodMatch page here. This is what potential guests on PodMatch see when they want to decide if it's a match, if they want to contact me and book a spot there. So yeah, and of course my Calendly is very useful for booking. And PodMatch uses my Calendly link, so that helps people to book. So as you can see, I've got regular social media, including Truth Social. Now I'm on Truth Social. Don't really use it, just post a few things on it for my podcast. Audio only, like I said, and then there's dedicated video channels, like YouTube, of course, is my primary, but I've got a bunch of other ones that I'm slowly populating. And then other, if you just want to contact me by Gmail or support me on Patreon or on Subscribestar, don't have a lot of support there, but appreciate those who have been supporting me. So I've got a new feature, another new feature on the website, which is that I made a little PHP thing here with Ajax JavaScript, where I can fill in my database more quickly and easily, and I can, if I add something, I can just mark it as added, or I can remove it. So that's fun. And if I go back in time to April 2017, for example, I've got all of the stuff prior to that on many of the platforms. The ones in green here are the ones that when I post it to Podbean, when I post it to Podbean, it automatically goes on Tumblr, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, and Boomplay. So that's why I put them as green, because as soon as I punch it onto Podbean, it distributes to those. And of course, I've got my Twitter, which I always post to right away, and my website itself. So all of these are links. So each one of these is a link. So I can go look at my Gab. And as you can see, this is old content 2016. So I'm just slowly, very slowly adding. And if we go back in time, if I keep going back in time here, I will start to see that, oh yes, I've put this episode, and if I click on it, it'll give me the details here, see? This is my YouTube, my source of all my data that I need to distribute. So these 2 episodes here, but not yet this one, these are on all of these video platforms. And all the way back to the beginning. So that's exciting. That helps me a lot to get my website up to date. And I want to take a look at my Podbean. It keeps track of some statistics there. And with my episode list, I can see that I've got some pending, because now I've started to have to try to provide some sort of consistency for the first time since 2016. Some sort of consistency, at least for the audio, the people that listen on iTunes or whatever, and related platforms. Try to have some consistency. So I've got like 500 episodes to publish, and I'm starting at the beginning. As you can see way down here, I've got my Father Martin interview, which was in 2012. That wasn't officially part of the podcast, but my first official podcast episode was 2016 with this guy named John here in Montreal. And then David Rand, Andrew Vahik Manoukian in Ottawa, Renault here in Montreal, Mohammed, and so on and so forth. And so these are all published, but what I'm doing to get through the 500 episodes, I have to get them all published and try to catch up to date. It's going to take me probably years to do it. I'm trying to publish in advance and schedule them for publication. So I do 2 a day, 1 at 9 in the morning, 1 at 9 at night. It may annoy my subscribers to get 2 episodes a day, but I just have to get it out there. I have to catch up. I want to get caught up. So it's really easy to add a new episode. You just drag it here, fill in a few things, and that's it. So my website, not that you care, but this is more just a vlog. It's a diary for myself to go back and look at the history of what I've done. My website is up to date. Finally, it took me a while to catch up to date, but as you can see, my guest from last night, Bug Hall, great guest. If you haven't seen that episode, you should definitely check it out. He's there, and all my recent guests, including my most controversial guest of all time, my father, James Martin, sweet guy, seems like a nice guy. And Craig, my new friend from Uncharted Catholic Man, we might work together again. And of course, Aiden and all the rest. So that's it. Nothing really too exciting to show you in terms of the website, but I want to go through now and talk about, yeah, my, let's hop over to my, what's it called? PodMatch. Let's hop over to the PodMatch and take a look at my upcoming guests. So as you can see here, I've got 14 guests already scheduled. I've got Elle Edwards, nice lady. She's hoping to book sometime in November, so I'll reach out to her at the end of October. But it's a really great system because it works. Of within 3 days, I had something like 15 bookings through the system, 14, I guess. And so let's take a quick look. I'm not sure how this works. I'm gonna click on his name. Yeah, it takes me right to his profile. So this is my first upcoming guest, my first ever PodMatch guest, John Jarman. And I haven't actually, the way I use this PodMatch is I'll just match with anyone, because I will literally interview anyone, and PodMatch does the work for me. It matches me with people that have the same tags. So this guy has Christian and faith. Those are two of my tags. Okay. He also has tags that I'm not looking for, but which are fine. Everything's fine. Author, he's an author. A lot of authors on here looking for interviews. Discipleship, football, I'm not really interested, but I mean, we could chat about that if he wants to. Overcoming barriers, okay, sure. Vulnerability, yeah, that's interesting. But the main ones for me, Christian and faith. So he has, let's just go through and I'll show you the sort of the format, how this system works. First of all, it says, well, let's start with him. Author, broken and redeemed, finding freedom through complete surrender. And I won't do this for all the guests. I'm just sort of showing you how this works. Through complete surrender, broken and redeemed is a recipient of the Literary Titans Gold Book Award. And it gives his response time. He typically responds in 1 day. My response time is 2 hours. So I've got a very quick response time. There's a note up here. Please note, you will not receive commissions for interviewing this guest because they are not on the legacy, because they are on the legacy account. I don't care about commissions. I'm not here to make money or to get money or whatever. Like, I mean, if a few dollars happen to come in, I'd be surprised, but whatever. That's fine, but I'm not here to chase the money. So you can see that I've messaged him already. I did not pass, and he was not previously interviewed, so this is green. And there's a little about section here. So just because I haven't read this yet, I'm going to take a look and read it. Get ready to be inspired by this story of redemption that can only come from the mercy and grace of our Lord Jesus. John will have the attention of you and your listeners right from the start of your show. John is honest, passionate, and knowledgeable. He's also incredibly inspiring. John is a breath of fresh air in today's world. And it goes on and on. I won't read the whole thing, but this is typically, from what little I've seen, I sort of scan these. I don't read them in full because I want to discover the guests on the fly. But typically this is the kind of guest that I see offering themselves to come on my podcast. It's like, you know, either they have a book or they have an inspiring story to tell or whatever. And because of my tags, I'm getting a lot of Christians, which is what I like. There's also a place here, if you want to learn more, you can go to their website or their social media stuff. So I often I click on their Twitter just so I can be friends with them or follow them on Twitter, because that's the main social media that I use, is Twitter. So it's fun for that. Ideas for episode titles or the main focus. This is interesting. An interesting feature of PodMatch is the guests actually give you some hints as to what topics might be good. What is surrender? Giving up control, the benefits of mental health counseling, walking by faith, and coaching football. So interesting, gives you an idea, right, about what this guy's into. Questions John is always ready to answer. I'm not going to read all these, but I'll give you a little sample. Although you talked about it in the book, what truly prompted you to write this book? What was the deciding factor that made you say, I'm going to do this? What was one of the most difficult subjects to write about during your book writing journey? What was your least favorite part of the book? So as you can see, he's focused in the first few questions on his book. And there are plenty of other questions there. So I don't need these promptings. I don't need any ideas or suggestions when it comes to talking to people. I just talk in the moment directly with the person, and that's my style. It may not be as focused on their areas of interest as they would like, as the guest would like. Like, for example, with Father James Martin, I didn't focus on his LGBTQ stuff too much. I didn't focus on his controversy too much. I just asked what I wanted to ask, and because that's what I enjoy, and it's something a little bit different. It's something different for the guest, because if they always have their preset sort of topics and questions that are prepared, it can get a little bit stale, I think, so I prefer the spontaneous, getting to know you style, where I just ask what's on my mind, even if it has nothing to do with them and I know they're not an expert in the field. Hey, I've been thinking about this. What do you think about that? I love doing that, putting people on the spot like that and seeing what they have to say. They always have something to say, usually. Let's go on and take a quick look at some of the other upcoming guests. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention also, they do provide images. So this guy gave one image to use that he's okay with sharing publicly. And his tags: Catholic. Oh, he's Catholic, Christian, faith, religion, spiritual growth. So I'm always excited to talk to a Catholic. I forgot to mention also this guest details thing, where they sort of see if there's a compatibility on all different criteria, different things here. Like, well, in terms of gender, I'm open to men and women, obviously, for podcast guests. Age matches your criteria, yes, okay. Language matches, yes, okay. All these things. So that's another interesting part of this bio page, that they give you that. And you can see this guy doesn't have as many contact links, but that's fine. His main focus is self-improvement, control, self-mastery, confidence, faith-based approach to coaching, clarity, and discernment. This keyword coaching here, there's a lot of that. A lot of people are professional life coaches and these sorts of things, and that's not really my thing, but these are also, they may be a life coach and trying to sell their book or whatever. That's, I'm finding a lot of that on PodMatch, but I don't care. They're also human beings, and I can still ask them, I can still approach them in the same way I normally would, which is just like if I cornered them at a party, I'd just be picking their brain. That's the way I approach my podcast. So some of his questions that he suggests to potential hosts: how do men get more in control of their lives? How can men make real changes to long-term struggles? What is the most important tool to transform your life? So he seems to talk about men a lot. How can men love their lives and be more comfortable with themselves? So he talks about marriage. So this guy's catering to men's problems and stuff like that. And I found on PodMatch, a lot of women are offering their services, talking about women and empowerment for women and what it means to be a Christian woman, and how, the faith journey of a woman, and how to be an efficient, mother or businesswoman or whatever. There's a lot of that I'm finding. And so that could be interesting. I've got a couple of women, maybe 3 or 4 that have booked already. And I'm always looking for women, because most of my guests are men. So what's with this guy? I don't want to learn too much, but I'm just going through a couple of them just to show you the basic idea of the website. About Michael Jackwith. After getting my chemistry PhD from Cornell, I spent almost 10 years in big corporate life. I left that environment and embraced the entrepreneurial path. My wife and I have owned 3 successful businesses as we eventually became life coaches. I read voraciously and have a nearly endless source of self-help, coaching, business, and faith-based information ready to go. I'm particularly good at converting the abstract and intellectual to practical and accessible. Most of all, I'm funny. Expect me to smile and laugh with you. Without a doubt, we'll have a good time, a good conversation, and the only thing missing will be a fine glass of scotch after the recording stops. So that's cool. I mean, I have to be honest, I'm a little bit skeptical of life coaches and self-help, for sure. But if he's Catholic, if he's Christian, if he has faith and he loves religion, and then I'll that will moderate my my caution when it comes to the self-help gurus. But seems like a funny guy, seems like a nice guy. We'll see how the chemistry is when I interview him on October 1st. You can see that they put the date and the time of my upcoming interviews here, which is pretty cool. Here's another author, Katrina. I'm going to be interviewing her in October. In her book, you will learn our American justice system is flawed. You can rise out of great tribulations in your life. Having faith doesn't fix your problems. Loving people is one of the most important things we can do in this life. So her story is one of indestructible hope rising out of the ashes of tragedy. I find that a lot here on PodMatch. A lot of these people that are offering life coaching or self-help or inspirational talks, they've come out of the ashes of tragedy. So it's always interesting. Her main points of focus: jury duty and rising through the trials of life. And she puts some questions here, suggested questions. What are some of the flaws in the jury system? What made you decide to write a book? What kept you going through everything you went through? Are you angry with the juror who complained about you? So I haven't actually read her blurb, so I don't know what the story is. And like I said, I don't want to know too much. But she put a big, long biography here. And the only match I have with her is faith. It's probably a non-religious faith, but I'm still interested, obviously, because I'll talk to absolutely anyone. So that'll be interesting. That's Katrina. On October 7th, I got this guy, Jonathan. He seems like a cool dude. I'm just going to read his because it's short. As I was going through college, I had aspirations to know what my purpose would be in life. I knew I loved God, just had a hard time applying his word to everyday life. Everything changed once I took a philosophy class. Whoa! And continued reading God's word. I was able to put what I learned into practice. I allowed God to speak to me in a way I would know his voice, and also a place I could go back to all the time, while pointing others to his word. Still striving to be a lawyer, however, I still gotta put Jesus Christ first. This keyword for me is philosophy. I'm loving that. And, he loves the Bible, and I'm very excited. Look at all the matches I got: Bible, Christianity, faith, Jesus, philosophy, theology. So pretty cool. His non-match tags were conference speaking, entertainment, public speaking, and sports news. So that's cool. We can see he's got a couple of photos here. Looks like a cool guy. And he's got his own podcast, The Truth of the Matters podcast. The Truth of the Matters podcast. Very cool. Oh yeah, and they also do reviews. So this guy, God's Diamonds in the Rough podcast, said, very knowledgeable, a great guest. And then this other guy, Joey Pins of the Discipline Conversation, said, great guest, highly recommend. So yeah, this PodMatch is pretty cool. I actually reached out to the founder of PodMatch and I said, hey, can you send me a t-shirt? Can I buy a t-shirt, PodMatch? I want to promote your thing so that more potential guests will join, more podcast hosts will join. And I just love your services, and I want to promote you. And I also said to him, hey, would you like to come on my podcast and promote your thing, talk about your thing, how'd you get into it? So I think he's too busy. He's probably too busy. But it would be great to have him on to promote his thing and to just thank him for the great service. I mean, the look and feel of this site is for me, it's not the main attraction. The main attraction is that it works. The look and feel, whatever. But yeah, I'm excited. So, and I'm not a paid shill. I don't get any commission. Like I said, there's a potential to make a little bit of money, like some pocket change. Maybe I'll make, but it costs me $20 per episode minimum anyway, because I enroll people in the perpetual mass. So, oops, where was I now? PodMatch. Oh, this is another interesting, guys. I may as well just keep going. I've been going for 25 minutes. I'm just going to keep going till I hear my wife whistling me. Margaret O'Connor. Wow. Look at this woman. Bring back actual history of women priests, women bishops, and women deacons in our church today. Wow, she may be my most controversial guest ever. Wow. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So this will be an interesting guest. Obviously, I do not agree. I do not agree. I do not agree. Disavow. 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 Ah, interesting lady. So, wow. Look at her tags. Catholic, okay. Catholic with a question mark maybe, but religion and spirituality. Author, Catholicism, religious controversy. Aha. Thought leader, women priests, women ordination, society culture, women empowerment, women's inequality. A modern day David is ready to slay Goliath. Typically responds in one day. So this is exciting. This is the kind of guest I want to meet. This is exactly what I'm here for. So let's read this. I enjoy offering a podcast host an unbelievably incredible true story to share with their listeners from my factual book, Scandal in the Shadows, the Original Priest, Mother Mary. Wow. It allows Catholics and Christians to see the Catholic Church like they've never seen before. A centuries-old scandal of lies and cover-up continues to this day, where the church hierarchy won't even acknowledge their early church history of women bishops, deacons, and that Mary, Mother of God, was a woman priest. What will this mean for any woman's spirituality in 2021? Isn't it finally time for this church to stop betraying the trust of any women in the church? I can send you my book. My website is blah, 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 yourradicaltruth.com. Sincerely, Margaret Mary O'Connor. So, wow. This woman's a firecracker. Women's ordination issue in the Catholic Church. These are the main focus points. Why should women be allowed to become women priests? Women's inequality in the church today is not even on the hierarchy's radar. Unearthing a lost religious heritage of women bishops, deacons, and priests. The deliberate cover-up by the Catholic Church hierarchy in completely ignoring their own commission's finding relating to women becoming priests again in our church. This is one of my main pet peeves in life, by the way, is women's ordination. It's like, I find it blasphemous and horrifying. Why won't the Catholic Church... Okay, hold on. Why won't the Catholic Church never acknowledge the past early history of their church? Well, I got a double negative there, but I don't want to critique, don't want to be a grammar Nazi here. Who was the woman known as Mary Priest? What title did the church give to her? And by who? It should be by whom. And why was this title taken away from her? After baptism, why aren't women allowed to be priests? The 5 biblical reasons given why women can't be priests, are they really biblical after all? Why does this church's hierarchy continue to lie to any women who belong to this church? What thread of past church history could very well help to begin to help solve the ever-present priest shortage issue today? Why, in the light of biblical research, does this church's hierarchy continue to lie about women's actual past history in this church? Why, after the Pope's own commission said, quote, there is no biblical reason why women can't be priests, unquote, why does Rome do nothing? Oh boy, wow. So what kind of reviews did she get? Margaret did an outstanding job in her interview. We will be bringing her back for a return interview in the very near future. Another host says, it was so refreshing to converse and learn from Margaret Mary regarding our mutual passion of women's empowerment, especially within the Catholic Church. I highly recommend Margaret Mary as a guest on anyone's show, as her message has the potential to create massive impact within our collective that many of us are calling in. Wow. So I'm going to be you don't want to miss this one. That's coming up October 8th. I'll just do a couple more since my wife seems to be still busy getting ready. What's this guy? Brian Russell. He's coming up. Passionate, knowledgeable, and compelling communicator who loves serving his audiences. He's particularly interested during this season to talk about deep spiritual practices such as centering prayer, Lectio Divina, and journaling. Yeah, I'm all in favor of Lectio Divina and journaling. The centering prayer, I've heard bad things about it. I don't know. His latest book is Astonished by the Word, Reading Scripture for Deep Transformation. He's also able to discuss spiritual growth and theology in depth. Additionally, he can talk in depth on topics related to personal transformation, rebounding from divorce, and life and business coaching. So, yeah, we've got some tags in common, and centering prayer, I guess, is the key word here. I'm a bit cautious about that, but we'll see. Moving on. That was Brian. This is Troy Hadid. This guy looks cool. He's got a headache there. Holding his head. Just taking a look at the photos here. If you're listening, that's a good photo. Good looking guy. His interesting face. Looks Arabic. I think his name is Arabic. It's got some high quality, high res images here taking a while to load in. Look like professional photos, portrait photos. This is a full body shot. And then here we got whoa, he's doing some sort of yoga thing here. So he's obviously into health and fitness and all this sort of thing. Born in Trinidad. What are the tags? Faith, God, philosophy, and religion and spirituality. And then of course he's got other stuff: conscious living, emotional intelligence, love, meditation, self-improvement, and yoga. His main focus is addressing the identity crisis, redefining our relationship to God, a new perspective on love and faith, the inconvenient truth of manifestation and prayer. Well, that manifestation's a red flag for me. Understanding love and being witness to God everywhere. Sounds like New Age, but he looks New Age. But I love New Age people. I love all people. I was born in Trinidad, 7 years the youngest of 3 brothers in a Catholic home, and in many ways benefited from the path my brothers and sisters cleared for me. I didn't break the rules in conventional ways. That would have been too easy. I challenged social norms and questioned anything I didn't think was in alignment. I had a close relationship with Christ that I maintain to this day, but called BS on many views of the church and organized religion. Reggae culture and Rastafarian influences had a huge impact on my youth and exposed me to a reality outside my privilege and instilled within me a sense of responsibility to make a difference in the world. Very interesting. This is the kind of guest that I love also. Rebel, I want to ask him about Rastafarianism for sure. I want to ask him about that. Very cool. That looks like an interesting guest. So many cool people here. Here's another one, Rich Lewis, that I'm going to be interviewing on the 22nd if all goes according to plan. His main focus: who is your true self? How can centering prayer help you? Oh, here we go again with centering prayer. Affirmations and centering prayer. I don't like affirmations, or I don't know what centering prayer is, but the power of silent prayer. Silence teaches us who we are. So there's a lot of New Age Christians here. Authors, life coaches, and this sort of thing. Not as interesting to me. I'm sure he's a nice guy, and it'll be a good interview, but just not particularly my thing. Margaret Agard. Let's see. Her main focus: taming your to-do list, finding your true purpose, resilience or overcoming adversity, Christian life, better health, mind, body, spirit, building your business around your purpose. So she's an award-winning author, former executive in the high-tech industry, and mother of 8 children. Wow. Stepmother to 7. Wow. She's currently writing her 3rd memoir titled Love Becoming One with Parker from her house next to a lake in Florida. Viewing lake, not swimming lake, because, well, alligators. So I love a big family, so seems like a nice lady. Yeah, should be good. Should be good. I got a lot in common with her. Christianity, religion, Religion, spirituality. Should be good, Margaret. It's always a surprise anyway when you meet the person. What about this? Have I seen this guy yet? Robert Bass, Finding Your Purpose in Life. Let's take a look at his photos. Podcaster. So he seems like he's a podcaster. Is there any way to... I can't jump to the next photo. I got to close this one and open the next one. Robert is an entrepreneur, author, pastor dedicated to encouraging others through the Word of God. His passion is to help people grow to their full potential. His main focus, how to live your purpose, how to find love, joy, and peace, hope in hard times, building a healthy family, how to live your best life. Yeah, so you're starting to see a pattern in a lot of these people. To me, that's not like a standout, but he might be a standout when I talk to him. That's the thing. Oh, here we go. Kathleen Donnelly Israel, Catholic, spiritual growth, spirituality, and the Camino Santiago. She did that. That's a big part of her story. You can see the photo here if you're watching this on video. Pretty cool. She did that. Wisdom, this is her biography. Wisdom on the Camino is an enjoyable book about a 70-year-old young widow's journey and adventure walking the Camino Santiago de Compostela, 500 miles across northern Spain. Solo, where she shared her spiritual philosophies with those she met along the way. Cool. One of her reviews says, very sincere. That's a podcast called Coffin Talk. I'd like to get in touch with them. Her focus points: 72-year young widow and best-selling author walks 500 miles in northern Spain. Spiritual philosophies of forgiveness and possibilities to inspire the rest of your life. Meet this 72-year-old best-selling author. Wisdom on the Camino, a best-selling book. Okay, so yeah. Could be good. Could be good. Pretty good. Moving on. We're almost done here. Johnny Taverner. Incredibly passionate about Jesus. Worship leader, singer, songwriter, speaker, trainer, and budding author. Host and producer of Refuge Freedom Stories podcast and author of 15 Minutes of Fire Substack. I love to talk to people about God, sing and write about God, and share stories about real lives changed by the power of God. Real life changed by the power of God. Passionate about a lot of things, including podcast music, guitars, and goaltending too. Friendly Canadian guy with a British sense of humor. No way. Canadian. His focus points, very simple: faith, Jesus, hockey, worship music, and victory. This guy, I'm sure I'll get along with this guy swimmingly. There's a picture of him with his guitar next to a tree. And here's a color picture of him. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy this guy because I like talking about music too. Very cool. See all the different people I got booked through this website? It cost me $6 a month, by the way. You pay month to month, so $6. This is well worth it. Well worth it. I don't know how long I'll do it for, but definitely well worth it. And then this other guy, Corey Rosenke. This guy looks very intense. Look at the face. Look at the eyes. Okay, so his focus points: the magnetic heart of God. What is the soul and what is it good for? Oh, I'm scared what he's going to say. Understanding human behavior. What is the gospel? Truly. And world chaos. What proof is there that mankind has souls? How can we discover meaning and purpose? Why is the world falling apart? What does it mean to be made in the image of God? I'm interested to hear what he has to say about that. Why do people do what they do? His biography: as an author, pastor, communicator, and tenacious pursuer of truth, Corey Rosenke is both the concept pioneer and the foremost authority on the cravings of the soul. That's a strong statement. Foremost authority on the cravings of the soul. Through session, song, workshop, and manuscript, he is dedicated to the pivotal work of connecting hungry souls to the joy of their maker. Wonder what kind of maker that is he envisions. In a world where truth and reality have become shrouded in deceptive ambiguity, Corey Rosenke, I hope I'm saying his name properly, specializes in reasserting the clarity of divine definition and design. Should be very, very interesting. Wow, this one podcaster gave a really excellent long critique. I'm scared to read it because I don't want to spoil it. I give spoiler alerts for what he's going to say on the show. But definitely, I think this guy's definitely got some new age leanings. I'm just glancing through his about section, and he mentions Sigmund Freud, Edmund Burke, Plutarch, and C.S. Lewis, just to name a few. So interesting. He claims to be an accomplished author, theologian, and pastor. Lives in San Francisco Bay Area of California as of 2023. Wow. So it's going to be interesting. I think there's one more that I've got to look at here. Guy Morris. Let's see, where should I start? The only thing I have in common with him is the religion tag. He's got a long bio. I won't read it. His main focus points, this seems to be the one I like to read. True near-term social benefits and risks of advancing artificial intelligence. Wow. Analytical approach to understanding prophecy without religious dogma. Wow. How the Younger Dryas inspired Mayan mythology. Wow. The power of research to infuse fiction with reality. Transforming personal trauma into complex and likable characters. Interesting stuff. Where's his bio? His bio is long. His about section. Let me just read a little bit of it. Guy Morris has led an extraordinary life. After escaping an abusive childhood at age 13 to become a homeless runaway, Guy worked alongside migrant workers before he earned 3 degrees by age 27, including acceptance to Harvard and scholarship award from the University of Arizona for his innovations in building a macroeconomic that outperformed the Federal Reserve. His career led him to international oil company Occidental Petroleum, where he pioneered adoption of early-stage AI systems and supported business deals worth billions. He can also speak to leadership roles, blah, 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 blah. A talented musician and composer. Guy has recorded multiple CDs, cool, and wrote songs published by Disney Records. His adventures led him, that's Deep State, his adventures led him from receiving cartel death threats in Latin America to shark diving in Moorea. From boardroom politics impacting early climate change studies to living on a 50-foot sailing yacht with a charter captain's license. Every one of his stories and characters pull from a rich life of diverse experience along with deep, deep research. Every story is based on true events, history, technologies, or personal experience. For example, both Swarm and The Lost Ark feature the true story of a program that escaped NSA spy labs and confirmed by an FBI visit to his home. Guy strives to write books that thrill, educate, and inspire thoughtful dialogue on genuine issues facing humanity. So I think this guy is going to have a lot to say. Should be interesting. Not really my bag in terms of focus, but interesting. Always interesting meeting people. Let's take a look at Ellie. She promised me she's gonna come on. So where should we begin? Her bio. Oh yeah. I think her bio is cute. It says, I'm Elle Edwards, irrepressible silver lining spotter with a compulsion to say the stuff most other people only say in their heads. I'm here to help you be you-ier. You-ier? Yes, you plus intentional expectant relationship. Intentional, oh, this sounds like some life coaching stuff. Intentional, choosing to seek God, choosing to hear him. Expectant, everyone can hear from God, and that includes you. Relationship, a real active day-to-day relationship with God. A real active day-to-day relationship with God. I don't know if that's a typo or if it's emphasis. As real as the relationship you have with your very best friend. Yes, questions, conversation, sharing life together. to be who God created you to be when he dreamed you into existence with his love, and to explore with him what that looks like. Because when you can confidently hear God, when you know his voice, you no longer need to feel pushed around by life. Instead, you simply go direct to the author. Very cool. Let's see the focus points. You are what you think. Wah, wah. Okay, new age. I do not like this. Normal is just a setting on the washing machine. You don't need yet another quiz to tell you who you are. Stepping into the story God's written for your life, you can be an irrepressible silver lining spotter too. I'm going to read her question and answer prompts too. What does it mean to be you-ier? And why is it so important? Why are you so passionate about what you describe as radical encounters with God's love? What if someone doesn't know who they are? What have you got against normal? Tell us your 3-word hack for turning any day around. Do you really believe every day can be fun and full of happiness and joy? So this is going to be fun. Here, let's take a look at her bio photo here. You see how she's got her tongue on the back of her teeth? That's like a very cute, innocent, childlike smile. So I'm 46 minutes in. I'll just read this last thing and then I'll wrap up, okay? Just because she seems like she's got some infectious energy that I like here. This is her about blurb. I'm here to help your audience step into God's best, to embrace who they were created to be, and to take action on the things that are important, and to have a great time doing it. Because when we're living in God's story, being who he created us to be, we call that being you. But we're not stopping there, because God doesn't want you to simply be you. He's inviting you to be you in daily active relationship with him. It's inviting you to be you-ier. What's you-ier? And then she explains what you-ier is. That's what God's inviting you into, and it's so much more fun than you ever dreamed possible. You simply need to be you in relationship with your creator and greatest encourager, and that starts with hello. I wonder what she thinks about sin. That's seems to be a missing ingredient here, but we'll see. Continuing now, and that's what the IER in you-ier is really about, helping you have fun with God, normalizing conversations with him so that it moves from something mysterious or uncommon and instead to simply a part of what it means to be fully human, fully alive. Yeah, God's glory is man fully alive. So there seem to be some Catholic influences here and some New Age influences. I'll have to sort of figure out when I talk to her what the vibe is. But I'll love her and accept her as she is either way. Because when you let him love you, when you realize that you can hear God and not and have that daily active relationship with him, that's when you can hear his heart for you and step into the fullness of what it means to be you, you-ier. How we got here is a longer story, which you can read on my About page. So she has a website called you-ier.com. But let's just say the short version is that God showing me how to be you-ier saved me from going crazy. If I'd taken my stressed out, depressed self to the family doctor at the time, I'd have probably been put on medication. Yep. When all I really needed was to be you-ier. Add a dose of ADHD and comfort eating to the mix, and you'll understand why I was not in a great place. But God, the difference is like night and day, and my breakthrough and victories are not just for me. That's why you-ier is my life's mission. I was born to help you be you-ier. You-ier is the answer, God given before I ever knew the question. So how do we do this? The way God always does life, in community. It's never just you. It's time to step out of isolation, and that's why I created my community, the Blue House. The Blue House is your safe space online to explore who you were created to be, take action on the things that are important, and have a great time doing it. Yeah, so I think I want to join her you-ier Blue House community because she sounds like so much fun. I'm going to go visit her website right now. Join the Blue-ier house today. This sounds like fun. I hope it's not some satanic deception. It might be. It might very well be. Okay, Jesus suffered and died to draw all people to himself, and on the third day came back to life. He's now seated at the right hand of the Father, ever-present reminder of how Jesus... Okay, so this looks good. Holy power, the Holy Spirit empowers us, teaches us day by day. This looks good. There may be some flaky New Age stuff in here. I want to see if there's any mention of sin. Sin site. Let me just check. Unresolved sin in your life. Let's see. Religion will tell you can't hear me because of unresolved sin in your life. But if that were true, how could anyone hear the first call to follow Jesus? Okay, so there's a denial of the religious teaching of sin. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? That's not good. I don't see the word sin here anyway. Okay. Love never gives up. Love cares more for others than for self. Love doesn't want what it doesn't have. Love doesn't strut, doesn't have swelled head, doesn't force itself on others, isn't always me first, doesn't fly off the handle, doesn't keep score of the sins of others. That's true. Doesn't revel when others grovel. Okay, so that was not bad. That reference to sin. Celebrate my love that covers a multitude of sins. So there seems to be an acknowledgement that the sin is real. So other than that one thing that religion says that that sin is real, it seems like a good thing. I'll join her Blue House Club. How do we... Oh, got to pay for that? No, I'm not going to pay for that. No, I'm not going to pay to be part of her happy club. But so anyway, that was fun. So I'm looking forward to meeting all these guests. And as always, take good care. We'll talk soon. God bless you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.